up, YouTube? My name is Lexi. Welcome to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about Season 8, Love is Blind, the last episode, the finale, the weddings. They saved everything that you need to see. All the action, all the drama, all the whatevers. Like, they jam-packed every single mentionable moment into this episode. So I am so excited to unpack it with all of you. If you like my vibe, do subscribe. I promise not to keep it for too long because I really need to get into the reunion episode. So without further ado, go grab your snack, grab your tea, grab whatever's going to be comfortable as you were listening to me. I will have timestamps listed in the description or in the comments, so you can just skip along to whatever part you want to get to. So without further ado, let's get right on into the video because as always, I have a lot to say. So the first couple wedding that we're seeing is going to be Sara and Ben. Now, I'm going to kind of speed through this really quickly because these people ain't got no business getting married. Sara, when she's in her quarters, you know, she's getting ready. She looks beautiful, is getting her makeup done. And her sister and her partner, her sister and her family, they're still trying to remind her, you know, to get married for the right reasons and follow her down the aisle. She gets down the aisle, the pastor's like, you know, everybody bow your head, everybody bowing their head in reverence. And my girl Sara is just over here just like, it's fine. Just doing the most. I'm just like, girl, please. The pastor goes and asks her, you know, do you take this man to be your husband? And she goes, Ben, I love you. Where is it? Nobody wants to hear on this particular day at this particular time because then we already know this is about to be a no. And so she says no. She says that she always imagined that her partner was going to be somebody who she's going to be like, you know, just in full-on alignment with. And I'm just like, you've wasted valuable footage, valuable time. We could have followed a whole nother couple because we established that you two were not compatible whatsoever. Since the first episode, you had no business taking us through this entire journey only to turn around and then be like, oh, we're not aligned. Like everybody and like the public, like you have already known since episode 1. She's just like, oh, you know, I love you and I don't want this to take away from you and who you are as a person. Ben says that he wants to stay with her and continue to work on their relationship. And she turns around, she says, we'll see. And I'm just like, girl,
it's a no for me, dog.
She pretty much leaves him at the altar. Her family is asking her, are you okay? Are you okay? She's just like, yeah, I'm fine. Meet me in the back. So we watch her, like, you know, on her way for leaving the wedding facility to get back in the car. She's just like, get me out of here, get me out of here, like ha ha ha. And I'm just like, are you in you look like you're in the middle of a psychotic break. Are you okay? So when she gets to the car, she's talking to her mom and her sister, and she's just like, you know, I just feel kind of numb. Like, I asked him about LGBTQ, I asked him about BLM, and he just didn't have any opinions. Like, he didn't ask me anything further. I asked him about his stance in the church, and he told me that he didn't know his church's stance on LGBTQ, but I found out that the views are traditional. And I'm just like, once again, Sara, we knew this. You knew this. Then she says that, you know, I was asking him all the hard questions and he didn't have any hard questions back for me. He didn't really want to get into her brain and really figure out the way that she thinks, how she's maneuvering. So we get back to Ben in his scene, and Ben is just like talking to his friends, and he's just like, you know, if it didn't work now, like, I don't see it working in the future. He's kind of just like, he was able to see past their differences. And I'm just like, I never understand that stance. Like, we're sitting down here, we're trying to find people who align with us on a core value level. If we fundamentally do not agree on certain things, that means that we're going to be butting heads. You can't just be like, oh, like, we have love and it'll take care of everything. No, it's a problem when you're not fundamentally on the same page as your partner. So when it comes to continuing to date, Sara is not interested whatsoever in picking up the mantle and continuing to date Ben. So she doesn't want to date him because she doesn't want to keep on basing everything on hope. The hope that he's gonna catch up to her, the hope that he's going to become this person who she's going to be in alignment with. I'm glad that they didn't get married, and I'm glad that she said no, but at this point in time, I'm just like, you wasted our time. On to Joey and Monica. This wedding outcome surprised the hell out of me. I didn't even know what to do. Like, literally, my jaw just dropped to the floor when I was watching the whole sequence of events and how this came to be. So we arrive to Monica and Joey's wedding day. Monica arrives and Monica is just in deep pensive thought. She's thinking about this moment. She's looking around, but she's mentioning that, you know, she's not 100% certain. She's just like, you know, usually when people are getting married, like, you know the outcome, you know what to expect, but she has no idea. Like, she's kind of just like going with the flow. So she says that if Joey says yes, then she is all in, she is ready to commit, like she's ready to do this with him or whatever. But if he says no, you know, she's worried because she's just like, well, when else am I going to find somebody so amazing? And I'm just like, and I had said it in my last video that I was just like, I hope that they were able to kind of get over some of their humps. Like, you know, she was talking about physical intimacy and how they weren't able to get there before, and he was, you know, they're basically not like verbally affirming each other. So now the day comes and that clearly hasn't been fixed. So now I'm just like, oh no, you guys are my runner-up couple, like what is happening? So then we pan over to Joey. I was watching this with my sister and I was just like, Brittany, if I'm on my wedding day and you see my potential husband coming into the ceremony on a skateboard, you tell me and you text me immediately not to come. Because when I saw that skateboard, I was just like, my good sis is not gonna have a good day. And I was still holding out for hope, but I was just like, this is not a good sign. And it's just the contrast, because we're seeing her be so like concentrated and we're seeing him just being real free for all. And I know he had said in the past that's like, you know, he's kind of going off the vibe, like whatever he feels in the moment is just what he's gonna go with. The next red flag that I see, Joey is in his quarters, like all of his guys come over and they're all like, you know, yeah, blah, 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 whatever. But they're all in their quarters and they have this football, this little like toy ball football thing that they're tossing around. And I'm just like, he has come on a skateboard and he has a toy ball that he's tossing around in the men's quarters, kikiing and laughing. I was just like, maybe it's stress. Maybe it's a stress reliever. Maybe he's just over here, because as they're tossing the ball from side to side, they're talking and they're saying amazing things about Monica. They're saying that she's going to be able to really assimilate into their dynamic. One of the friends was talking about, you know, taking her for karaoke. She had a song, like she was pretty much down, and they all are very approving of his connection with Monica. Joey is also talking about, you know, he's still reflecting about this whole experience. He brought up Monica's sister and he's just like, I got her blessing, but I didn't get her approval. So he's just using that as like a barrier again. And I'm just like, please don't use the sister as an excuse to say no to this woman. Like, you know, I'm just like, there are thousands of people who are not getting along with their in-laws and they still love on the person. So I'm just like, please don't ruin a good thing. But as the sister comes up in conversation, we get back over to Monica's quarter and Nicole is over here talking about some, oh, you know, like, I don't think that you could read people. At this point, I'm saying, here goes her hating sister again. At this point, okay? At this point. Monica's friend, Phoebe, she comes out and she's just like, you know, I think that he's a great match for you. She's really supportive of their union and she thinks that, you know, she's just like, you know, you really worked on yourself and I'm proud of you and I'm happy that you're starting this journey. Just being very reassuring, especially because we have hating Nicole on the side. So Phoebe also asked Monica if he's good at affirming you despite him not being emotional. Monica says it's hard for her to read. So I'm just like, Dave is over there in the corner playing football and she's over here saying that she can't read you. Like, this is not looking good. Aside from her keeping her expectations kind of low, she's also saying that she's been holding back. And she's holding back because Joey is not affirming her or kind of giving her that nudge to say, like, you know, we're on the same accord. And I'm just like, they're not going to get married today. At that point, I was just like, they're not going to get married, and I was just sad to see. Then we pan over to Joey, and I see these Hawaiian shirts come out, and I was just like, no, this man is not serious. First of all, he didn't even have the decency to put his hair in a man bun. And that's probably the fourth strike that I should have written down. We have Hawaiian shirts, we have a skateboard, we have the football tossing or whatever. Like, this is not giving a very serious man. And I'm just like, I don't play about Monica. Like, I like Monica. So I'm just like, nah, you playing around my girl. Like, what's wrong with you? And to note, and for, like I said, like, I've been a supporter of this couple up until this point. So I'm just taken fully aback. Joey's mom and sister join him in the quarters, and they're also affirming like how wonderful Monica is. I think his mom was also saying like, you know, like it's just so great that you met her, like you've been struggling in this, you know, trying to find your person, etc., etc. So she and the sisters are very embracing of the idea of Monica joining their family. So then now we get down to the wedding. Joey is going down the aisle with the damn skateboard. I mean, on one hand, right, it looked kind of cool. But after hearing all of these like negative things that are already going on in the background and the attitude that they're having going into this process, I'm just like, so when we do get down the aisle, we see that there is a wheelchair there, and Joey had it placed there for his sister, for the sister that he for his sister that passed. And that was very touching for his mom to see, and you know, it was very like nice to see that and wanting to commemorate his sister to be here for this moment. So with the wheelchair, I had hope again. I was just like, okay, all right, that looks good. Okay, we might get a little something because that is at least indicating to me that the man thought about some stuff. So Monica beautifully comes down the aisle. Joey's over there in his powder blue Hawaiian shirt. If I saw that Hawaiian t-shirt, I probably would have just said, you know what, Mom, just take me on back. It's all right. In the vows, we only hear Monica say, you know, and I love you. And Joey, he's more so just giving more of like a, this has been such a wonderful experience with you. Like, I'm so glad we did this journey together. Like, it's not giving anything that's super affirming to say like, yes, I'm going to actually choose you in this moment. So, you know, the aficionado, like, they ask her first and she like cocks her head back and she's just like you could just tell like she didn't want to be asked first. So since the ball was in her court and she was just like, you know, I have to make a game time decision, I'm not sure, he's not really giving me what I need, I didn't even get an I love you in this vow. She's like, I do not, you know, she pulled an SK real quick, and I'm just like, damn. But I was also very happy because I'm just like, you know what, she bit the bullet. Like, she wasn't sure, she wasn't 1000% on board with Joey, she didn't know how he was gonna go, and I think that was a safer bet to do, because if you're unsure and if they're asking me first and I don't know 1000%, instead of me risking my neck to say yes and, you know, be all in and be embarrassed when you turn around and tell me no, I'll beat you to the punch. And luckily she did that, because then Joey turns around and he's just like, you know, he honestly wasn't going to say no anyway. And I'm just like, that is so unfortunate. Like, I saw the signs and I saw where this was going, but I just thought that it was extremely unfortunate. Joey turns around and he has this wonderful address to everybody in the crowd and whatnot, and they end up walking down the aisle as friends, you know, and they're hugging, and it was a very like gracious, very understanding breakup. It wasn't like a, oh God, I hate you and I'm leaving down. Like, no, like, this is the first time we've seen a no decision on the altar, and it's still ending respectably with hugs, with like mutual respect for each other. So I'm just like, maybe there's hope for them to get back together again. So when they get their moments to talk to the camera to their sides, Monica is saying that, you know, she wants to be chosen. She wants to know undoubtedly, without any questions whatsoever, that her person is choosing her. And then Joey, in his aside, he says, like, you know, when she said I love you, that was the first time that he's ever heard that from her. So he was taken aback by that. And I remember listening to them, and I just felt so sad, because I'm just like, it just feels like if they had just communicated just a little bit more, then they would have had a completely different outcome. So I'm going to jump out of order here, because I want to save Devin and Virginia for last, baby. They deserve last treatment, okay? So we're going to go into Daniel and Taylor. Daniel and Taylor, like I said, from day one, Daniel and Taylor, they were my couple. From that moment that he dropped down on the knee in the pod, I just knew that these two were going to get together. And, you know, their journey, how they've been communicating with each other, how their families embrace each other, like, I just knew for a fact, hands down, these two are the couple to bet on. And they did not disappoint. So Taylor pulls up, Daniel pulls up and the both of them are really excited. It was super cute. Daniel got to his quarters and one of the friends already had a note from Taylor prepared for him, and she's just like, you know, if you're not doing anything later, like, I'd like very much to get married to you. Like, how freaking cute. So they just have these wonderful exchanges, and then we see her, she's getting ready, and then her mom pulls up and she has a letter also from, like, a card and a bracelet from Daniel, and the bracelet is a bracelet that she had made for him in the pod, and he is giving her sweet nothings in the card, and then he ends it off by saying, you know, keep the bracelet so like I could be with you all day. And I was just like, I'm not gonna lie, I cried for their wedding. I love their story, I love their journey. Like, this was just so wholesome and so beautiful. Daniel's father goes into his quarters and he's just saying how proud he is and how happy he is for his son. You know, he does also express, you know, he was concerned, not concerned, but, you know, for their oldest daughter, like, they have, you know, she's special needs, she's legally blind, so he was expressing, you know, that he was really worried about how things was going to play out for Daniel. Like, he didn't want to have another special needs child, I suppose, but he was so grateful and so thankful that Daniel was a perfectly healthy baby and perfectly healthy child. And now to be in this moment where he's watching his son get married, like, it's very overwhelming for him. Back over with Taylor. Taylor's with her parents, and Taylor is just crying and emotional because she's so thankful that she has both of her parents. You know, like, her father had the health scare, so she didn't know if he would have been able to walk her down the aisle, or she didn't know if he was going to be able to be there for her special moment, and he was, and both of them are actually walking her down the aisle. Like, she was just in tears. It was beautiful. It was just beautiful. And then I'm over here underestimating how much more beautiful it could get, and it gets even more beautiful. So we get the scene and they're all getting ready to enter down. Daniel's sister is on the piano getting her Ray Charles on, playing this piano and singing But I Can't Help Falling in Love with You or whatever. And I was damn near falling out of my chair. Like, she sang so beautifully. She's serenading her brother in this moment. Like, it was beautiful. And then she continues the song and she's serenading Taylor. Like, it's just such a beautiful commemorative moment of just the joining of these two beautiful families. And he looks at Taylor and he's just like, wow. Like, he's so taken back by how beautiful she's looking. They bring her down to the altar and he comes down and he gives a hug to her parents, and then he takes her hand and brings her up the aisle. I was just like, so then of course I'm just like, it can't get more beautiful. Yes, it does. It always gets more beautiful with this couple. They are over here reciting their vows, and he actually had written some vows down and he couldn't even get through the vows because he's talking and he's just like in the moment. So then he just goes off the rip and just starts to talk. She wrote her vows to him, and she also includes like a journal entry that she had said, and she basically was scripting and writing down the kind of man that she wants. And she says that he was literally the answer to everything that she asked for in her prayer, in what she wrote down. And you could just tell, like, he's getting all choked up, like he's teary-eyed just listening to her. And it was, I don't know, I just can't even say how beautiful it was enough times. Like, it was really a tender, beautiful moment. So of course these two get married, and I am just so happy for them. And then, you know, as I'm happy for them and everything else like that, they also throw in the little nugget. They actually were not intimate. This night right here, like, their wedding is actually, they're gonna be consummating the marriage right then and there. Kudos to y'all for committing without trying things out. But I hope that it went well. These two are married. Congratulations to the Hastings. Moving on. Last but not least,
You know why I'm here.
we are going to get into Virginia and Devin. If I don't see Virginia in a Tyler Perry movie sometime in the near future, I'm gonna have to just give him personally mail this entire season of Virginia's acting skills to him to make sure that she gets casted in some way, because we need to see this lady on film. When we get to Virginia's wedding day, Virginia is over here crying about how happy she is to have found love and she has found her person, and being in shock when, you know, and talking about like how shocking it is when you find your person after like looking for them for so long. I'm just like, girl, you still have not found your person. She's saying that she feels so secure in her connection with Devin, and she's saying, you know, like, it really doesn't, looks and stuff like that, like, it really doesn't matter. I'm just like, girl, that statement alone told me that I'm just like, girl, you care about the looks and you are on the same wavelength as me. Devin is not giving. You are not really fully attracted to him, and you are trying to convince yourself to get there. You know, we're seeing her in the suite and she's still getting ready. And I just need to make a small shout out to the fact that we saw beautiful black hands on Virginia's hair. I was just like, nah, I know for a fact Virginia is going to eat down. So we pan over to Devin, and the first thing that we see with Devin is these colorful rainbow looking sneakers. Again, I turned to my sister and I told her, if you see my potential husband come out of a car and he got clown shoes on like that, just text me and tell me that I'm gonna have to start to pay and get my refund money together. And I know that sounds crazy, but I was just like, no, this is a sign. So Devin, of course, he's very excited. He's very excited about the idea of getting married to Virginia. I mean, why wouldn't you be? I guarantee you, Devin has never had a woman of Virginia's caliber, never had a woman of Virginia's beauty, never had a woman of Virginia's, like, essence. And of course, you're excited about the potential for financial security, sir. Of course you're excited about marrying Virginia. So Virginia's in her suite. She's still over here trying to convince us that this is a good man and this is a good pairing or whatever. I'm just like, Virginia, sweetie, I'm not believing you. Virginia and Devin's mom come into her suite, and, you know, Virginia's mom is asking her, you know, are you ready for this? And she's just like, yeah. I'm like, of course you're ready for this. Your retirement plan is over here sitting down in this chair getting ready.
All the girls are ready, so
Devin is over here getting ready, and by far this is the worst dressed groom I have ever seen on Love is Blind. I was just like, from the colors, from the suit, from everything that's going on, and on top of that, I haven't talked about it, but that bald spot that he got going on, I was clocking it so terribly. That man and his hair, I don't know what is going on. I don't know if he needs to get some biotin going, but I really hope that he has figured his hair follicles out. So the mom comes into his suite and she's talking about, you know, like, you went through such a hard time. And right after that, then all of this is coming up. Like, she was referring back to when he was, you know, the injury that he had with his back and the surgeries that he had to have. And I'm just like, hold on, time out. What do you mean right after that? Like, what was the time span? Because now, to me, I'm listening to it, I'm just like, this is giving like a mini Tyler situation or whatever. Just like, you know, I fell on hard times, and instead of me getting my life together, I'm over here looking for a wife to help me out with my financial troubles, a wife to be a shoulder to lean on. Like, that's kind of what I got from that explanation. I could be reaching. Let me know if you agree or not. But anyway, back over to Virginia. Her dad comes into her suite, and her dad is just like, oh, I didn't know if this was gonna ever happen for you. And then Virginia's mom, she also couples that up, and she's just like, oh, Virginia's so picky. Now, I just want to briefly touch on this really quickly. Listen here, standards matter. I'm sure Virginia wants to be partnered, but she's not just going to take any old scrap just because, even though I was very concerned with what she was doing over here with Devin. The dad was also talking about how much he liked Devin, and for this part, I'm just like, well, I'm not gonna knock that too much, because Virginia had a way of presenting Devin where it seemed as if things were copacetic, or so I could understand why the father is saying that, oh, you know, I approve of you for my daughter. We get down to the wedding, and by far, hands down, fight me if you want to, Virginia is the most beautiful bride I have ever seen on Love is Blind. That's the note. Anyway, moving on. Devin is over here with his mom, and the mom is over here just so excited. Just, you know, she's so happy for Devin. I'm just like, you are happy because somebody's here to rescue your dusty son. So we see Virginia going down the aisle. Imagine Virginia looking as good as she looks, and you go down to see Devin. Just Devin just standing there, bald spot, ill suit, just looking dumb at the altar. So Devin starts to talk his good sweet nothings over to Virginia. Virginia is up there Virginiaing. And then we get the final question. So now they're asking Devin, do you take Virginia to be your wife? Devin says yes. Then we go back over to Virginia, and Virginia says, I'm just not ready. I said, thank the Lord.
happy day. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Yeah.
And she's over here, she's just like, I'm just not ready. And she's like tearing up and she's emotional. All we see is Devin, and he's like, he has his head in his hands and stuff like that. And then Virginia just like, she's looking at him, and she just picks up her stuff and goes. Now, when I saw this scene, because I saw the scene twice, the first time I was like, oh my God, I felt really bad for Devin. Then I watched it again, and I'm just like, in search of the tears, and I don't see any tears coming down. Virginia stayed with him for a while, and she looks like she's trying to like comfort him or whatever. But I feel like once she realized that he is not actually crying, she grabbed her dress and she walked down the aisle and left. His mom got the little baby sitting down on top of her. All you see is his mom just drop her head down in despair. She's basically just crying because her retirement plan just walked out. And here go her dusty husband trying to comfort her or whatever. And she just, the despair that lady was experiencing, it was just very much so giving, oh my God, I have nothing. I have a nobody who could take care of me. I have no son who could take care of me. This husband of mine is just over here not doing what needs to be done. Like, that was the inner monologue that I was picking up in that small moment. Here we over here, Devin's sister talking about, I don't know what's wrong with these girls. Like, he doesn't deserve this kind of treatment. I don't know what's wrong with these girls. I'm just like, ma'am, your brother is a dusty, and your brother is over here not doing what he needs to do as a man as yet. Virginia's friend came out, and she basically was putting Devin on blast, talking about how he was over here having her pay for all their dates and stuff. And I'm just like, this is why the girls don't stay with your brother, ma'am. Tell your brother to step it up and become a better man, because this man was getting ready to marry this woman and comfortably sit himself down as a beta male. Back to the suite. So now we get down to the suites, and his mom is there trying to comfort him. And this comment that she makes, this dusty, filthy, disgusting comment, and she's just like, well, I thought she was waiting for a husband, and you found one, now all of a sudden you're not ready for one. She didn't find a husband, she found a man-child. So we pan over to Virginia, and Virginia is saying, she's sorry and she feels bad for hurting Devin and hurting Devin's family. She also said that she feels like it was her job to like protect Devin. She says that it's like a cultural thing, and I'm just like, I don't want to necessarily put that on culture. Like, I don't care what kind of person you are. I feel like that's just a person thing. Like, the fragility of a man's ego is no excuse for a woman to subject herself to something that is not in alignment with her core values or not in alignment with what she wants for herself. She said that there were topics that he didn't want to be pushed on. She said that there were depths of the relationship that she was never able to really get to because of the conversations that they weren't able to have. And then she also mentions that they weren't able to get there sexually as well. Then we get the dustiest story of all time. They received a check. Virginia was never consulted. She was never told about the check. So it's just like, so obviously like that doesn't make somebody feel really good about going into a marriage with you. So we receive money, and it's a premarital like gift or whatever. So I don't know if it's because she made him sign the prenup or what, but I'm just like, he is not sharing something that is for the both of them. So what did you do with that? Like, that's only instilling a bunch of doubt. And there we have it. So that was the outcomes. I am very happy to have Taylor and Daniel being married. I'm very happy that Virginia did not marry Devin. If you cannot tell, I am disappointed in Joey and seeing that side of him. I'm very disappointed in that. And then Ben and Sara, they're very performative. They didn't have no business being here anyway. So yeah, drop down in the comments and let me know how you guys feel about what you saw in this episode. Have an amazing evening, and I will see you in the next video. Mwah! Take care.